Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this new Moran Prurient EP Chain Reaction at Dusk. Moran is a New York-based neoclassical artist, and Prurient, aka Dom Frenrau, is a Wisconsin-based noise pioneer. Kelly's music has interested me for a while now, actually. Her very tense, unnerving blend of neoclassical, electronic, and experimental music on albums like Bloodroot actually really interested me. But it was 2018's Ultraviolet that really had me hooked on her sound. It was minimal, but it was also sort of classy. On the other hand, it was also completely unsettling, but really beautiful at times, which is a lot of the same things I could say about Prurient's music over the years, whose music over the years for me has been much more my speed. Honestly, I followed Dom for a long time. I've seen him live a few times as well. His Frozen Niagara Falls album is one of my favorite harsh music albums of all time. And they've come together here for a pretty short, pretty harsh, and out there little EP that it's actually pretty good. Kelly's contribution started off with Red Storm. It's a pretty short tune. I mean, if you're familiar with Kelly Moran's work at all, this is right by the books, but not in a bad way. It's just the same sort of dread-inducing neoclassical that she's put out for years now, but it's actually pretty epic. Like, a lot of her music I've always compared to the work of, like, Tim Hecker, but honestly, it seems more apparent now than ever. It's honestly really breathtaking, and I love how much depth it has. This is a great start. Then we have Helix 3, also by Kelly. Honestly, once again, if you're a fan of her work, you know what to expect here. It's very whimsical. There are a lot of elements of neoclassical music. Once again, it's very otherworldly, but also super meticulous. There's a lot of great details here. And honestly, I think it lives up to the hype of the first two parts of Kelly's Helix movement. The amount of layers is breathtaking. It's actually pretty hypnotizing at parts. It just makes me want to dive deeper into Kelly Moran's music. It honestly makes me really want to go back and listen to her last couple of releases. As for Prurient's work, it's pretty solid as well. Tokyo Exorcist I've enjoyed for quite some time now. I mean, I love the more electronic side of Dom's music just in general. This isn't really that harsh or noisy, but it's got a great sense of mystery to it. I love how his vocals just seem to be haunting this track. It almost has like a Dirty Beaches feel to it. It's very dense, it's super fast, it's not too heady, and once again, it's the little details here. It's like the gongs in the background and the whispered vocals that really make this for me. By the end of this track is straight up devilish. Like, Dom has worked with some pretty dark stuff in the past, but this is straight up evil sounding, all for it. And with help, if I may ask. Honestly, if you were looking for the harsher side, the noisier side of Dom's music, here it is. This reminds me actually a lot of what he was doing on Frozen Niagara Falls. It's icy cold, it is twisted and completely relentless. The layers of vocals here are like dizzying, but in the best way, in the way it kind of makes me super anxious to listen to, makes you just want to unravel everything. And honestly, I'd love to hear Dom work on like the next Safety Brothers movie. But this is where I love hearing Prurient's music, and once again, it just really makes me want to go back and revisit some of his last few works. If I really had to point my finger at one track here that stands out, it's Kelly Moran's Hymn. Now, there is a pensive beauty to this track. As a matter of fact, it has a lot of the characteristics of Kelly's other work. But sadly, there's not a lot of progression on this track. Kelly Moran's music to me has always been, you know, these sort of journey tracks that do eventually get somewhere. This to me just doesn't really go anywhere. Just a little one note from my liking. And you know what, usually in a bigger work, I wouldn't probably mind this track too much, but in such a small sample space, I just feel like this misses the boat. So I don't think this is as prophetic or telling or as vast as either one of these artists' albums, but it's not really that meant to be. Kelly's contributions are super beautiful, yet a little unnerving at the end of the day, while Prurient's work here is cold and unforgiving. I mean, if I had to make a major critique here, these are two artists here whose work really is tough to grade in such a short sample space. Prurient and Kelly Moran's music really should be for the album, the big picture album. That's where they really shine and, you know, put across these wild messages. But still, if you're a fan of either one of these two, or you want to get back into these two artists, there's a solid little EP that I'm enjoying. Feeling a decent 7 on this thing, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.